Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so excited that you're here tonight. I'm Nikki McCutchen. I will be your host. Super excited to have my sweet mama here with me. So, from Colorado, she came in. My son's graduating from college this weekend. So, I'm in Tulsa and he's graduating from in Oklahoma. So, anyway, yeah, so we're excited that you're here tonight. You'll get to hear from both of us. And it's just a community night tonight. So, we're here for you. We're here for you to tell your stories as well. But we will always want to start with our medical disclaimer. All of our technology is not intended to treat, cure, prevent any type of disease. If you are pregnant or nursing or have any type of medical condition, we always recommend that you check with your preferred healthcare practitioner first, just like you would with embarking on any type of new diet or exercise program. So with that, like I said, this is a community night. So anybody you can raise your hand, you can share a chat, share, a story in the testimony or in the chat and just, let us know what you've seen or somebody that you've helped or what you've noticed. We want to try to stay away from any type of disease name type things. So we really want to talk about, even with symptoms, think about it like if you were going in to see your practitioner and you were going to describe how you felt, so the things that you're feeling, and what might be going on with you from that. And so we want to, just talk in those kinds of terms when if you're asking a question or if you're saying what's going on with someone. So, but yeah, so think about what you'd like to share with us tonight. I was super excited that my mom was here because her and she and my daughter, they have the X2O machine. It's probably been about a month now, right?
Yeah, whenever it first came, the first round.
Right, in March or something. March. So they've had it for about a month now. And so I was just going to let her share kind of what her experience has been. And then she can talk about too. My daughter's has been kind of interesting. So we'll talk about that too. So what have you noticed, Mom?
Well, I feel like I felt like I drank a lot of water anyway, and so I wasn't sure that. And I do have some filtered water in my home with hydrogen water, so I wasn't sure I was going to really notice anything. But I did really notice that even though I felt like I was drinking a lot of water, I actually craved this water. It was it. I really think it is more hydrating. So I do feel like I could drink a glass really easily. I jumped to several glasses a day, at least 3, pretty much right away. But Kimberlie, she did about 3. That's that's my granddaughter, your daughter. Anyway, she did about 3, and then she started having some detox symptoms. So things like a little bit of headache, a little bit of upset stomach, and so a little bit of brain fog kind of thing.
Skin
issues.
And stuff coming up, rash kind
so
of.
So she obviously had some detox going on, things that maybe it was trying to help her body, get out. And so she did back off for a little bit, and she did feel better when she backed off for a little bit, but she's planning on going back on now. It was just those few,
So she hasn't so she's been drinking it for a month, so she's been completely fine. And right, was there anything else that she really didn't know right away? She
didn't.
When you first drank the water, she did feel like she could feel things, but she couldn't really describe it.
Her very first time, she wasn't sure how to describe it, but she could almost feel like tingling, bursting, going on through her whole body kind of thing. And so, she didn't have any immediate detox things. It was later.
So it's been about a month now. And really as a child, she had some injury from some shots. And so, so there's been buildup of heavy metals. When you research some of those things and you see what's actually in there, there's a lot of heavy metals in there. And so, we've done things over her life to try to support her body to detoxify, but your body walls things off and it protects and it does all kinds of different things. So it's really interesting when you think about, each one of our cells in our body and its ability and like what it does, so to receive that hydration, well, when our bodies and our individual cells can receive hydration, they also that can detoxify. So not just like extracellular, detoxification or organs detoxifying, but actual individual cells and what they're holding on to. So once it has that hydration and that movement, then it can also, allow things to go out and carry things out with hydration and being able to detoxify at the cellular level. So I think that's potentially, what's going on with her. Because when you look at some of those just, more like typical detoxification, reactions, all of those things that we listed are on that list. Those are things that would be a typical, if somebody's trying to get something out of their body, those are all things that would be a typical detoxification reaction. So we'll see how it goes from here. We're just, thankfully she's, willing to be along for the ride. She's super into being healthy and just having her body be as healthy as it possibly can and making really great choices. And so I'm so thankful for that. And for my mom. And I mean, they eat really well. Mom and I were talking about that too, is that, you're almost 77, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about that. So she's almost 77, which is amazing, right? Isn't she beautiful? So awesome. She feels like she's been wearing the patches for 3 years now. So a lot of results helping with blood pressure, normalizing and all of that. She's had some really great results with all of that. But we're always trying to all these, we want things to get better. We want things, but talking about what is better to one person is so relative, so she's not on any medications. So think of most, over 70-year-olds, getting close to 80. I mean, a lot of people are on multiple medications. They're going to their doctor all the time. My mom doesn't have to do any of that. She's actually very healthy. She has things that she would like to improve, but we don't know the list of things that we could have if we didn't have technology like this. That's what's so amazing, is that these are part of our daily life of good choices that will optimize our health and support our health. Because what we do know is the technology resets 4,000 genes to a younger, healthier state. We know that they've proven that in the studies. That's what happens. So if that is what's happening, we may have all these things that we wish were not on our list, but when you actually compare yourself to someone else that's in your age category, she's doing fantastic. We are, praising the Lord and so very thankful that she's doing so well. So you have anything you add?
I don't think so. I told Nikki today, I do feel better. So I do know I feel better. I feel like just from older pictures, I feel like my skin and stuff looks better. And so I think there are things there. It's just really, unless you just really stop and think about it. I know we've been told multiple times, write down all these things. And so, yeah, you tend to, after 3 years, you kind of tend to forget. And then you always feel like, oh, I want more.
Yes,
I just want more.
Yeah.
But yes, I do feel good. And so I feel like things are going really well. I wear all of the patches. I wear them all. Most of them I wear at night. And I know that it keeps some people awake, but it doesn't bother me at all. I use them over my eyes because it's I don't want cataracts to come. I've been told that they're there, the eye doctors want you to believe that it's just a matter of when you're going to get them. And I feel like, okay, well, they're starting, but they're not coming.
That's right. In Jesus' name.
That's right. So yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And so, she had foot surgery. I can't remember if we ever talked about that too, but even on the doctor's note, when she was going through all the doctor's notes after her surgery, her doctor had written down that, that she appears to be much younger than she
Yeah.
actually is. And so, I mean, yes, I know we have really good DNA. I mean, I've had our, well, we both have had our DNA tested, so we know that we've got some longevity genes and stuff that are fabulous in our DNA. But it's one of those things, we're all assaulted with toxins every single day, and regardless of our good DNA, most people at 77 have a pretty decently long list of health issues along with medications that they're on. So super thankful. My family has always been into health. My grandparents, her parents, were always very into health and cared about all of that stuff. So it's been passed down through the generations, and I'm so thankful for that. It has definitely been a blessing to me, and certainly to my kids, my children as well. So yeah, so I'm glad she was here. I thought she could share some of that and talk about my daughter's story too. And it's just fun to get to see. I have a lot of people who are coming over, to get water. I've got some neighbors that are using the water as well. And my neighbor, within, I think it was like the first week, she actually had some detoxification reactions where she was, having to run to the bathroom for like 3 days, but she just wanted to get it all out. So she didn't stop drinking the water at all. And her dad lives in the neighborhood too. So he comes over, and he's got some pretty big health issues. But what he noticed literally the first night, and he's probably one of the only ones so far that I've had that have noticed something right out of the gate, to where he was getting up 8 to 9 times every single night to go to the bathroom. And the very first night, it went down to 2 to 3 times. And about a week later or so, I asked her again, same thing. He was getting up only 2 to 3 times a night. So that was pretty impressive. A lot of people, I would say, for the most part, I don't hear a ton of stories yet. Like, it's just one of those where we know it's good, and we know that it's helping, and that it's helping to penetrate every single cell, because the bond angle is different. It changes the bond angle because it's infused with those 6 different wavelengths of light, which allow it to penetrate. So the hydration to actually penetrate each and every cell. And sometimes that was interesting too. We were talking about how I think that it can take a while, right? Because if you've been dehydrated for a long time, or even mildly dehydrated, and for whatever reason having absorption issues or whatever the problem is, it can take a while, because you're talking about, I don't know, trillions of cells in your body, a lot that now are getting hydration. Like with mom feeling like she's craving the water and needing more of it. To me, that's like at the cellular level, her body crying out saying, oh my gosh, I have been dehydrated. I mean, for however long, even though she does such a good job, for whatever reason, her cells were just not, receiving the hydration. And so now they're getting it. And so she's craving it, even from her cells, to drink more and more of that water. So it's going to take time to replenish her body's ability to actually, feel hydrated and be hydrated, at the cellular level. So I think that takes some time, depending on how long you've been, dehydrated for, how long your body has been in that state. So that's pretty cool too. I just think it's amazing that, she would just really crave the water. Just very interesting. So anyway, anybody else want to share a story, or we can obviously take questions tonight too. I can explain a little bit about the patch technology as well. But I'd love to hear your stories.
Hi, Nikki.
Hello, Bonwin.
Hi. I just got my water machine a couple of days ago, and
Yay!
I know. And the second day, I noticed I was in the bathroom, and I also have a weakness in my legs. I've got bad knees, and I've been patching. I've been on all the patches for like 3 years. Sometimes I break it up a little bit and go off of them for 2 or 3 days, then go back on them. One of the things that I noticed is my hair grew like 15 inches long.
Wow.
Never had long hair when I was young, and
Wow.
that was a shocker, and it was pretty quick. And the other thing that I noticed was when I went on the cleanse, the CRP cleanse, I
Mhm.
could not believe the strength that I gained in my legs. When I went to the bathroom, I'd have to put my hands on my knees and one hand on the windowsill and boost myself up. The 15th day of that cleanse, I popped right off the seat. I could not believe I had so much strength then, but then it weakened after time because my knees really weakened.
Mhm.
And it's funny too, because I had been to my doctor and he looked at my x-rays and I looked at the x-rays and I thought, boy, they really look great for a 79-year-old woman. I thought there was somebody else's x-rays.
Oh my
And he
gosh,
said,
that's
no,
amazing.
he says, you're very healthy. I said,
That's
well,
amazing.
here. He said that. Yes, he did. So, but that's where mainly it's the patches, but I'm really excited about this water machine because I noticed today I just took a second glass just a little while ago. And by the time I take my glass tonight, later on, I'll do 3 glasses a day. So I'm right along where your mom is. I
Yeah.
can't wait to
Right.
continue with it, at least the
Yes.
3 glasses a day. Yes.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
looking
Yeah, I
for
know
your
it's absolutely. Yes. And I know that all of the studies have been based on just one glass of water a day, which I'm
Mhm.
thankful for that. That's really great. And I think I haven't gotten to listen to it yet, but that David did a call this last week and was talking about 2 glasses of water. Cause I know they have
Right.
ongoing studies that are
Mhm.
going on. So did you hear that, Bonnie Lynn?
Yes, I did hear that. I
What
did.
did he say?
I just heard that most people do the 2 glasses a day, but that other people are using more, are drinking more.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't hear too much else of what he said though from there because I was up and down. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
They really support one glass because that's what the
That's
studies they've done. Is
Yeah.
on one.
He said he can only really support the 2 glasses a day, the one in the morning and the one at night. Because they haven't done studies on people drinking any more than that. Some
Right.
people go crazy and want to do 5 glasses a day. you
Yeah.
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely had days where I drank 5 glasses for sure.
Mhm.
And I never, it's one of those to where I've just kind of always been one that's doing, I mean, I do some kind of detox, every so often. So it's
Mhm,
one of those where I'm like, I'm not sure, like if, I mean, it's possible that the water is giving me, some detox things, but
mhm.
sometimes, especially, when you're really healthy, you just kind of push through and do your day, and it doesn't really matter how you feel. You're just going to do your day because that's what
Right.
we do.
Mhm.
So it's possible that I've had, some detox stuff too, but I mean, I don't know that 100%. So I'm
Right.
not really sure
Yeah.
because I would, I mean, it's not
Mhm.
like I've been doing a parasite cleanse or anything like that here recently, but,
Yeah.
Right.
anyway, so yeah, so it's super exciting. So I'm excited for you guys to
Yeah. I am.
see what you experience, and just know that if you are having detox symptoms, I
Mhm,
have heard David Schmidt talk about how he just tells people to go ahead and take a break for a couple of days.
mhm.
So that's what I told Kimberly to do when she was coming down here. Let's just, go ahead and lay off and not drink any water. And then when she gets back home, she'll start. He said a couple of days. It'll probably be about 4 or 5 for
Yeah.
Kimberly since she's been here off the
Mhm.
water, which is totally fine. So just
Right.
take a break and then, and then start back up again. So, and then he said that normally when people start back up again, he doesn't see them have, any more issues. So I hope that
That's
will
great.
be, true for my daughter as well. But
Mhm.
regardless, it's good. So many people shy away from detox, and it's so important that we understand that that's how our body gets stuff out. Like we have to detoxify. So we really need
Mhm.
to embrace that detoxification. It doesn't mean that we embrace it to where we're miserable.
Yeah.
It just means that we slow down, we go slower, or we might take a break or whatever, but we keep stepping into that place of allowing our body to have whatever is working for us to allow our body to detoxify. So, and some people just, really freak out and get scared. And it's a place that we want to be because it's clearing out all of the things that are getting overloaded in our body.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. And your mom is
Yes.
beautiful. Keep
Oh,
up that keep
thank
up
you
that
so
water.
much.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yes, I'm so thankful. She always joins me in all the things that we start and try. And she started, it started with her, right? She was bringing me things that we were, whatever we were doing when I was a kid. So now it's me bringing stuff back well, she's still teaching me stuff. There was something else this last few weeks that I was talking to a doctor and he was raving about this new supplement and how he feels like, if it's the only thing that people can take and afford, that he thinks they should be on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom's been taking that for like 2 years. So
Oh my.
because she always researches everything. And of course, if she researches, I don't even really look at it. I'm like, okay, I obviously need to just get on that too. So anyway, so
Okay.
I'm still learning stuff. She's still researching things. So make a pretty good team. That's for sure.
Good. Wonderful.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
do you
And I can't remember if I've shared. So I do have another story just about the patches. I don't remember if I shared it last time or not. So a gal who is 23, she had a bump on her head, and it just has been bothering her for a long time. It ended up starting to interfere with her day because it was creating headaches, and pain, and so she just didn't really know what to do. So she went to the doctor. The doctors did an ultrasound on it and ran blood work, and they just told her, you can stay in.
I
Where are
was
you
going to
going?
have you scoot this.
Oh, okay. Oh, the sun's coming again. Sorry. See a scoot. That's funny. So anyway, the doctors said we're not sure. We don't know what's going on with you. And so they wanted to do a biopsy. She's 23, biopsy on your head, like that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to do that. And so I was like, would you consider using, this technology, the patches? And she was like, absolutely. So I put her on the X39 and the Eon and the anti-inflammatory. And so within like a week, the pain was completely gone. Within like 2 weeks, the bump was completely gone. So there was nothing. And now she doesn't have to have the biopsy. So that was pretty amazing. Anytime that I seem to work with, people, in their 20s, I always call them kids. They're adults. I call them kids, these kids. So when I'm, work with 20-year-olds, it's amazing how fast the technology works on them. So because their regenerative cells are already working really well. So yes, half of them are working at beginning to go dormant. So by the time they're 30, half of their regenerative cells are no longer working on their behalf. So in their 20s, they still have a lot of regenerative cells. So it doesn't, start to decline until about 30. So that's what's so amazing is their body will then, whatever is declining, will get those up and running. And our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made. Our bodies are designed to heal themselves. So
Right.
they will, when you give them the tools that they need to do what they were designed to do. And that's what this technology does. It's just like a light switch that turns on your body's ability to do what it was designed to do. It's just the electricity. So I have one of the patches on my wrist here. So that's what they look like. But it's all light therapy. It's completely non-transdermal. So there's nothing transferring into my body from this patch. It's sealed on both sides with medical grade plastic. It's a class 1 medical device. We are FDA regulated as a general wellness product. So it's truly amazing in what the technology does in getting regenerative cells up and going and working on our behalf, resetting 4,000 genes to a younger, healthier state. So even like 50-year-olds, so my age, when they're having their blood work done, if they don't have a list of aches, pains, illness, disease, what they're seeing is that, like I said, it's resetting their body. So their blood work is actually showing that they're 25. So that's what I'm talking about, is that if you have a list of things going on over here, then your body's going to get to work on that. It's not necessarily going to change your biologic age internally. It's going to try to repair and resolve the problems that you've got going on. That's what regenerative cells do in our body. But when they start declining and they're just not working anymore, it's not that they're not there, they just aren't working. That's the body's process of aging. And so really what we want to do is have that whatever our lifespan is, we want to have the health span. Mom and I were talking about that today
Yeah.
too, is that however old we are, we want to be able to enjoy it. We're talking about how, almost 77. And if she lives to 100, it's like 25 more years. And so you're like, well, that's still a good chunk of time.
Right.
That's still a good, but she's like, it's like only a quarter of my life is left. So anyway, that's just it. If you can live vitally, if you can, fly and hang out with your children and hang out with your grandchildren and get to do the things that they enjoy doing, and that's what you love to do, that's quality of life. That's what we want everybody to have access to. And that's what we have with this technology. So, because if we're not using this technology, by the time we're 60, we only have 10% of our regenerative cells that are any longer working for us. So the sooner we get started on using this technology and the younger that we are, it has a compounding effect over time of more and more cells having access to getting up and getting running again and regenerating whatever's going on with us. So whatever we are, like we were talking about, whatever we're trying to hopefully avoid in our future, we don't know what that is. But thankfully, we know if we're able to get our regenerative cells up and working on our behalf, then we can potentially have access to being able to not have things happen that might have happened otherwise. So, and I would rather go ahead and pay for an amazing technology, or like the water technology, having these technologies that are going to support my body's divine design, so it will work the way that it worked when I was in my 20s, then do that on the other side of just wait and see what happens to me and then try to deal with it then. I've never really been a wait and see person. I'm so thankful for that because to backtrack when you have stuff going on and to try to fix it after it's already going on, that takes a whole lot more energy, effort, money, time to fix something versus giving your body what it needs so that it can support it to potentially not ever go down that road. So anyway, yeah, anybody have any questions? We're about out of time here tonight, but questions or things that you'd like to add or stories that you'd like to share?
The only other story I have is last year when I had my bone density done. The doctor called me from the office. One of his girls called me and she said, in 30 years, the doctor has never seen a report like this. They said that I have the bone density of a young adult female.
Great.
Wow.
That's
I was
awesome.
That's
78 then.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
That's
package.
fantastic. Yes, because Mom and I
Thank
were
God.
talking about that too. Our bone density is so important as we age.
Right.
So we were talking about the importance of really, being able to lift our own body weight and do things with our own body weight, or hope if you're strong enough for that, going ahead and using weights, but you've got to get to a place to where it's heavy. You're lifting heavy weights to have that osteoblastic activity. That's that pounding on those bones to help it, help our bodies to be able to handle that. So yeah, so that's amazing, Bonnie Lynn. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was really thrilled.
Yes. And when was this that you got the report? How
That
long had you
that
been
was
using?
that was a year ago because I just got notification I have to go for my
Yeah.
mammogram and bone density. I just got it today on a text message.
Okay.
And so it
That's
was just a year
amazing.
ago.
And you wear X39 and 49 daily?
Yeah, yes. And
Okay.
others.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
take a lot
So
of
just so y'all know, X49 turns on AHK copper peptide,
Right.
and that supports bone loss and increases bone
Bone
density.
density.
So yes, so that's fantastic because obviously you're like, okay, it's working. The technology is working for
Absolutely.
them to say that. So, and for them to see it, right? Because they're seeing it on
Yes.
the DEXA scan.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Very
amazing.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you all, and come back, Bonnie Lynn. We want to hear how your next appointment goes and
Okay.
what they have to say and what you're noticing, and we'll pray that your knees and the things, the water will be that hydration that you need again for every cell in your body to start
Right.
restoring itself to a younger, healthier state as well. So
Yes. I'm looking
yes.
forward to it.
Absolutely. Yes. Well,
Well,
thank y'all
thank
for
you.
being on here tonight. And we just really appreciate you spending 30 minutes with us. Get back to whoever invited you to the call tonight. Tell them that you're ready to get started on the technology. You can visit embraceoptimalhealth.com. That's my website that will go over the technology with you. But be sure to get back to the person who invited you to the call. And with that, we pray blessing over each and every one of you. Good night,
Night,
everyone.
ladies.
Have a great evening. God
Blessings to you
I
on
bless.
got
my way
away. I
back
didn't
home.
make a comment. So bye bye.
Yes, yes, awesome. Bye, everybody.